Welcome to the HTMA Success Practitioner's Corner, a special series in which Susan Cachay highlights the incredible work being done by graduates of the HTMA Success Practitioner Training Program.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Practitioner's Corner. I'm Susan Cachay, founder of HTMA Success. And today I'm speaking with Marysa Meyer, and she's a graduate of our HTMA Success Practitioner Training Program. We'll be talking about her journey with HTMA and what's happening now and all sorts of details. So let's dive in. Hi, Marysa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. And I want to ask you, how has HTMA and mineral nutritional balancing shaped your approach to wellness?
I think my answer to that is probably similar to many other practitioners is getting into this work for really personal reasons. I'm a physical therapist, so I've been in the wellness space for over 10 years and have crafted a practice that really takes a holistic approach to the human body and human anatomy. And in kind of my own journey through different traumas and loss and grief and pregnancy and birth and postpartum, the body goes through a lot in life. And I think it's so important to support it in so many ways. And I feel like I've tried all the things, done all the things, and HTMA feels like one of the most resonant practices for me personally in nourishing my body on a really soul level. And
Mm.
I love the connection to human behavior, human psychology, and just how it weaves so seamlessly into that world and the practice of somatic work. And it's such a complementary practice to what I'm already doing. And so when I stumbled upon it in kind of my motherhood journey, I would say, it just fit in so well. And it has been a journey of really just deep, deep healing for me in practicing and using it in my own world.
And you hit on a really good point in terms of the psychology of it. And I was just speaking earlier about how Dr. Eccles used to say, our minerals affect our emotions and our emotions affect our minerals. And it's just so powerful in terms of this program really addressing the body at such a deep level that, the types of shifts that we see here are really quite phenomenal. And yeah, you're speaking to that as well. So how have you now integrated HTMA into your practice and what you are doing? What does that look like now that you've graduated from HTMA Success?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, I'm a physical therapist, so I sort of have the mindset of observing the human body, watching movement, watching the biomechanics side of things. And HTMA brings a really interesting, more physiologic side to, or physiologic perspective to working with clients. So I think, to maybe share a metaphor that feels resonant for me, my work as a physical therapist, I look at how people hold themselves. I look at how, where tension shows up. I look at where they're maybe too open or too loose, and posture and all of those different components and those observations have this really direct correlation with psychology and behavior and how a person literally carries themselves through their life and how they're able to show up or not show up. And so I take that approach in my physical therapy practice to really look at the person as a whole. And, sometimes it is about giving an exercise for a certain tension, and sometimes it's asking about a relationship or asking about their job. And so the way HTMA is kind of fit in with that is just, again, it's so seamless because you can look at somebody's chart and you can see these physiologic presentations, but then, is it really about their dietary intake of something, or is it a piece of their life that's draining them? Is it a toxic relationship? Is it a job that is taking too much of their time and energy? Is it an unsupported mother, going through postpartum without the village? There are so many pieces that play into how our minerals present on a test. And yes, like supplementation and food and nourishment is so vitally important. And it just is kind of an opening for a deeper line of questioning. And I think that's really how I've seen it fit in with my current practice is it's just like another piece of information that we can utilize to get to what's actually going on in a person's lived experience.
And what I love about what you're saying is it's not about, hey, look at these nutrients are out of balance or, you're low on these particular nutrients. And I think that there is a real shift right now, which I love in that the HTMA chart, exactly right in terms of what you're saying, it shows our lived experiences and our stressors and the way that our body has had to adapt, right? So it's telling us about our adaptation if we're under a lot of stress for a long period of time. It could be a relationship, could be something else. But the body starts to adapt and it starts to slow down. And, the oxidation rate can be slower on purpose, right? As the body is sheltering or almost like hibernating a little bit if it's a very stressful situation. So I think looking at it through that lens is really important piece of it in terms of looking at what's happening with the whole person, right? So, yeah, I mean, mineral balancing is great. It's going to help somebody no matter their situation, but you can't mineral balance your way out of a toxic relationship, for example. It's going to help support you in that particular
Yeah.
situation, but certainly will also be informing some of the stress patterns that we often see, like calcium shell or sympathetic dominance or adrenal burnout. Or so I love how you're able to go, yes, I've already been doing this part of it. And now I'm bringing in this other part, and it's just, making it more complete, essentially.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's just so important in the wellness space because I don't think we want to be, I mean, in the mineral balancing world, like I don't think we want to be operating like physicians where it's you come
Right.
in with an ailment and here's a pill. I mean, I don't want to be a holistic practitioner who is like you come in with an ailment and here's a supplement. Um,
Yes.
I think I think holistic care is really about more of the line of questioning and you know, the actual inquiry into what's going on in a person's life on that
hmm
level.
Yeah, that's amazing. What would you say would be one kind of standout moment or one standout aspect or lesson or aha moment that has come to you learning about or applying HTMA and mineral nutritional balancing?
I mean, for me, I think it's just the pacing that it goes at and how long it actually does take to heal the body. Um, there's so many options for getting quick fixes, quick detoxes,
Mhm.
trying to find that state of equilibrium and that relief from symptoms as fast as possible. And I understand that completely when you're not feeling well, wanting relief quickly. And again, I think that the slowness and how long it takes to heal, even on a robust program like you have in mineral balancing, I just think it speaks to how legitimate the healing actually is. I don't think that you can expect to live your whole life a certain way and then heal from that in a month or 2 months. I think it takes years. And so for me and my own healing and my own journey in this realm, I think even having been on programs for years prior to this, I still have things that come up. I still have ways that I need to be supported. And I think women, especially as they go through different phases of life, through, puberty and then pregnancy and then menopause, I just think like, of course, those are going to be moments where we need to support our body more or support
Mhm.
our body in different ways. So and of course we're going to have stressors in our life that come forward and so what I think mineral balancing does so beautifully is it supports no matter where you are in life, and it kind of comes with that understanding that like we are going to go out of balance. That is the way it goes. But the time that it takes to really heal and support the body is you just go so deep, and I just haven't found that in another program.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree. Just with its effectiveness. I know we all wish it was faster, but because it's such a deep healing protocol, it takes time to shift, right? And things are shifting that have been sequestered in the tissues for a really long time. So it's quite significant in terms of what's happening on this program. And you brought up some really key points in women's lives that I think it's just so valuable to recognize that, yeah, that is a time that is a more depletion time, right, for women, and there's no more support that's needed. And also even during prenatal to help with a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. And just more and more I'm seeing just the value of this program at those various stages. It's so important. And just thrilled that there's more people that are doing work like this, like you, right, that are acknowledging that and are aware of that as well.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you have to give to somebody that's considering taking HTMA Success or considering incorporating HTMA and mineral nutritional balancing into their practice?
I mean, I think it's to experience it yourself and to go deep yourself. I really think it's so important that as practitioners, we have that lived experience. And that's not to say you have had to go through terrible things in your life in order to have the experience of healing, or you have to be super sick in order to guide people out of sickness. But I do think to be on a program and to experience what that's like in your own body gives you that lived experience and compassion for the people who you do work with and who do end up on these programs and going through their own healing process. I think we can only really go as deep as we have gone ourselves. And I know that sounds a little cliche, but I think there's truth to it. And I wouldn't say that anybody is in this lifetime necessarily finds the exact way forward or the perfect way to live or the perfect ratio of all the things. But, if we can look behind us and see the person who's maybe a few steps behind us, but on the same journey, and lift them up, knowing what we know about our own selves and our own healing, I just think that that's so powerful. And that is how we heal collectively, is supporting people who are walking that same path.
Wow, that's so powerful. I just love how you conveyed that. That's so powerful. So thank you for joining me today. And if you found this conversation helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss an episode. If you want to get connected with Marysa, her information and details are linked below. You'll also find the information on HTMA Success, the practitioner training program, linked below. And don't hesitate to visit my website at htmasuccess.com and let me know if you have any questions. And thanks again, Marysa. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.